In our previous video, we have learnt about the material heritage of India. Link is given in the description. Today, let us learn about India's non-material heritage. Class 5 Social Studies. By the end of this chapter, you will learn about the oral tradition, the performing arts, the skills of the people, medicine and science, and the day-to-day traditions. Children, you must have heard about the Jatka tales. Many centuries ago, Buddhism used these stories to teach lessons in good behavior. Each story teaches us something good. Some links to such stories are given in the description box. Kindly watch them. Such stories are still told, and are an example of our non-material heritage. Let us have a look on different types of the non-material heritage of India. Oral tradition, performing arts, people's skills, science, traditions, and philosophy. Let us learn each of them. The oral tradition. In India, knowledge and learning was passed on orally, means through telling, not writing, for many centuries. Very few people knew how to read and write, so teachers, storytellers, and puppeteers were important, as they passed on knowledge and learning. Several things were passed on in this way: the skills of craftspeople, medical knowledge, religious ideas, and customs, as well as stories about heroes and gods. The oral tradition still exists. This is some heritage that comes to us because of oral tradition. The 4 Vedas, Hindu religious books, and the 2 epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, were passed on orally for centuries. Stories like the Jatka tales and the Panchtantra stories. Skills of craftspeople, such as how to carve a statue of a god or goddesses, or how to weave carpet. The performing arts. The performing arts. Dance, drama, and music have a very old history in India. About 2000 years ago, Bharata wrote the Natya Shastra. Natya means the art of dancing and acting, which deals with all aspects of drama, dance, and music. It has influenced the performing arts in India until today. Dance. The Natya Shastra laid down the rules for classical dance. In ancient India, classical dance was used for worship at temples, though nowadays, it is seen in public performances. As most dances were for worship, they had religious themes. Only Kathak, which developed a few centuries ago in royal courts, has both religious and non-religious themes. Have a look at different forms of dance from various regions of India.
Sattariya from Assam, Bharatnatyam from Tamil Nadu, Kathak from North India, Manipuri from Manipur, Odissi from Odisha, Kuchipudi from Andhra Pradesh. From Kerala, Kathakali performed by men, and Mohiniyattam performed by women.
Folk dances and tribal dances are different from classical dances, as they celebrate events and festivals in the lives of the people. For example, the Bhangra in Punjab and the Bihu dance in Assam are harvest dances. Such traditional dances are found all over India. One of these is the Chhau dance, from parts of Odisha, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. These dancers wear masks for dance. Drama. Each play followed the rules of Natya Shastra. Some of these plays are still performed. Folk theatre usually tells stories from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Since the last century, folk theatre has also performed plays with other topics. Examples are Tamasha in Maharashtra, Nautanki in North India, Jatra in Bengal, and Terukuttu in Tamil Nadu. Music. India's musical heritage is old too. Classical music is known as Carnatic music in the south, and in the north as Hindustani music. Classical music is based on ragas that are a few hundred years old. A raga is a basic tune on which the musician builds up the piece of music. This heritage is passed on in the Guru-Shishya tradition. A guru, teacher, has a few shishya, students, to whom this knowledge is passed on orally. Music has also been important on religious and social occasions like festivals, weddings, births, and harvesting crops. There are traditional songs for all such occasions. This kind of music is different in different parts of India. Indian music is played on a variety of instruments. Drums like tabla, the mridangam, and the dholak have developed in India. The flute and veena are also indigenous. The sitar is thought to have developed from a similar instrument from Persia, and the sarod from a similar Central Asian instrument called the rabab. The harmonium and the violin came from Europe, but are now used extensively to play Indian music. The skills of the people. Masons, sculptors, painters, metal workers, and other craftspeople were very skilled. Such skill still exists, and has been passed down from one generation to another. Let us learn about it. Spinning and weaving. These are amongst the oldest of Indian skills. In Harappan times, cotton was grown, spun, and woven. Over centuries, weavers began to produce textiles of excellent quality which were in great demand in India, as well as other countries. India fabrics were very delicate. For example, Dhaka muslins, that is, milmool, was so fine that they could pass through a ring. The whole family was involved in spinning the thread and weaving the muslin. Indian weavers wove beautiful designs in cotton, and later in silk too. The weavers of Varanasi were especially famous for this. Their silk brocades, woven with real silver and gold thread, had a variety of designs. Water harvesting. Since ancient times, Indians learned to understand nature and to use it carefully. Water harvesting is one example of this. The monsoon was the main source of fresh water, so it was necessary to find ways of gathering or harvesting rainwater for a year-round water supply. There were various methods of harvesting water to suit the different environments of the subcontinent. In some places, people dug tanks where rainwater would collect, so that it could be used later. Today, when fresh water is becoming scarce, people have realized the importance of traditional methods of water harvesting. Medicine and science. An example of this non-material heritage is Ayurveda, an ancient Indian system of medicine, which uses herbs and natural products. It is still used today because many centuries of experience has shown Ayurvedic doctors whose natural treatments work well for various illnesses. People also discovered the medicinal uses of several plants. These remedies are used by thousands of people. The day-to-day traditions. Traditional customs are still followed in many areas of people's lives, such as weddings or festivals. But Indians have also adopted new ideas. Let's have a look at some examples. Food. Sevaiya at Eid or the Pongal rice from the Tamil Harvest Festival are two examples of traditions in food. Some favorite Indian foods like biryani, jalebis, gulab jamun, samosas, halwa, and naan came from outside India several centuries ago. They go back to the time of the Mughals, and some came even earlier. The tandoor came from Central Asia. The Europeans brought chilies, tomatoes, and potatoes to India. Clothes, sculpture, and art tell us that in ancient times, people in the subcontinent wore unstitched clothes. We still see this in dhotis, saris, and shawls. However, when stitched clothes came to India, first from Central Asia and then from Europe, many Indians began to wear them. Today, stitched clothes are worn all over the country. Some clothes worn today, like churadas, pajamas, or dupattas of fine fabrics, are similar to clothes are worn in the time of Mughal rulers. Many embroidery patterns used today are copied from designs used at that time. India's material heritage is visible and therefore well known, but the non-material heritage often goes unnoticed. However, it is also important and is a living heritage in many aspects of people's lives. Remember, India's large non-material cultural heritage can be divided into several categories. Some of this has its roots in the subcontinent. Some of India's heritage has come from outside but has become part of Indian culture.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel, and do not forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated. Your comments and suggestions are valuable to us.